Okay, so welcome everyone. And for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, I'm Dr. Shobha Raipudi. I'm a lifestyle medicine doctor and co-founder of Gift of Health. And at Gift of Health, we actually help people who are struggling with chronic conditions, including but not limited to high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, or any other gut diseases to break free from diseases, have more energy, and to get off the medication treadmill. So, like when it comes to chronic diseases, like a lot of people ask me like why I constantly talk about chronic diseases and like what's the big deal about it. So I want to just give a little bit teaser about it, but before that, I know we are in the month of October, and guess what? Halloween is coming, right? And this is the time, like where in our house we have our chocolates and other. I know, like we buy that thinking that we are going to give to our trick or treaters. So, like all the processed food comes into our house, right? This is the time. So, like what today, like what I want to give a brief overview of like how foods really affect our health because that's the main thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to uh, share like since we are like all this processed foods will be coming into our house, of course we'll be tempted. Okay, so and this will also set us into the mode of cravings. But how can we turn cravings into health? And that's the beauty of it. Like we don't have to fall victim to our cravings, but what we can do is we can actually turn this craving into health. So today's session, like I'm just going to address how we can do this. Okay. So let me know if you guys are able to see the screen.
Yeah, we can see it. It's great.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. So as I said, like I'm a lifestyle medicine doctor, and many people wonder what does that mean. So, as a lifestyle medicine doctor, like I can clearly see that chronic diseases are the leading cause of death and disability. So, it's a medical specialty that uses evidence-based, whole person prescriptive lifestyle change as a primary modality to treat, and when used intensively often reverse such conditions. So, when we are talking about chronic diseases, 6 out of 10 people have chronic diseases. The world we are living in today, so whether you're in Canada or in US or any Western countries, the thing is 6 out of 10 people have at least one chronic disease. 4 out of 10 people have two or more chronic diseases. And at least 4 out of 10 people will be diagnosed with cancer during their lifetime, and half of them will have heart disease or cardiovascular disease. And when it comes to diabetes, pre-diabetes, 1 in 3 people have pre-diabetes. And unfortunate thing is 90% of people don't even know that they have pre-diabetes. So, and when we look at it, 72% of people are overweight or obese in our industrial nation. So that's the part of the world we are living in. Okay. But if you look at it, when when we look at the chronic diseases, you guys might be surprised. Can you guess what is the leading cause of this chronic diseases? So this dietary risks are the leading cause of death and disability. So if we look at it, the first 7 risk factors is our diet. The second is smoking. And when you look at the other risk factors, mostly they're related to diet and our lifestyle. So here we have high systolic blood pressure, high body mass index, high fasting glucose, high total cholesterol. So all this are the leading risk factors that cause disability and death on us. So when it comes to food, when it comes to diet, today I specifically want to throw some light on the type of foods, especially the processed foods, given that like right now we will be having Halloween, and also this is the holiday time, right? Where a lot of processed food, a lot of things is uh, coming yeah, into our house. So one thing is the sugar in our foods, the sugar in our processed foods. Does it affect us? Okay. So what is the effect of sugar on our health? So if you look at it, too much sugar can affect almost every part of the body from head to toe. And this is so important because not a lot of us realize that every part of our bodies. So when I'm saying like right from your eyes, right from most of you might be familiar. Okay, so too much sugar can increase my risk of type 2 diabetes. It can increase the risk of being overweight, increase the risk of fatty liver disease, cancer, heart disease, gout, dementia, asthma, eczema, memory impairment, reduced brain volume, cognitive decline, and you become actually more vulnerable to viral infections. And let's say even when you have infection, the severity of infection increases when you're having too much sugar. So not many people know that, like even sugar is associated with your memory loss or memory impairment or causes cognitive decline. So obviously sugar affects all age groups. Sometimes we think it is us adults who are experiencing the effects of sugar, but unfortunately, the research on excess sugar and adverse outcomes, I mean, it is so clear that it is not just about the calories that are coming from sugar, but too much sugar can affect every part of the body. And when it comes to the age group, it affects right from the infancy and children. So if you notice, USD recommends that zero added sugars, that no added sugar be given to a child in the first 2 years of their life. A child below 2 years should not have any added sugars in their food. And this is a recommendation that is already set. But it's so unfortunate, if we look at the foods that are targeting our children, 70% of the processed food and 80% of the packaged food that are made for children have some kind of added sugar. The food industry knows that sweetness sells. So definitely like what happens is they try to entrap you while you're still young. Sometimes we think, oh, it's okay. I mean, I know it's Halloween. It's okay. It's okay to treat my child. It's okay to treat my grandchild with the chocolate, with the sugary treats. But know that infants and children are even more vulnerable than the adults. Why? Because their organs are still developing. So whether it is the teeth, their brain, liver, heart, skin, gut, like all of these things are still developing. And these organs are actually not developed enough to protect themselves. For example, their developing teeth don't have enamel yet, so they cannot protect from the acid that is produced by the bacteria in the mouth. Their brain is still developing. So maybe I'll just go one by one, like what is happening to every organ. So when it comes to brain, so 90% of our brain development actually occurs in the first 5 years of life. And during that period, like if they are eating sugars, it is the period where it's laying down the permanent networks, and this could be altered by excess sugars. So how many of us, we give so much sugary treats to children less than 5 years, not realizing like how it could impact them. Now coming to gut. So even when you look at your gut microbiome, the gut microbiome developed occurs in the first few years of life, and it's directly affected by the sugar passing through it. And when there is too much sugar, there is disruption of gut microbiome. And also when it comes to gut, it's established during early life. So whatever gut microbiome is established during early life, that is what is set for life. So you have to be mindful what you're feeding to your children and grandchildren, even when they're young. Whether they're 1 year, whether they're 2 years, whether they're 5 years, whether they're 10 years, because they are developing and sugar has a major impact on them. So this Halloween, when you're trying to do trick or treating, keep this in mind. Whenever you're passing that chocolate to that 2-year-old or 5-year-old, think again, like what's already, I mean, the sort of environment we have created for ourselves is to cause disease and disability. But we don't want to get that started for our kids and grandchildren, right? Okay. So then you guys may be thinking, okay, so you're saying sugar is not good for me. So what about the sugar-free foods, or what about the sweeteners? So when it comes to the sugar-free foods or the calorie-reduced sweeteners, these are actually more popular because they actually give sweetness without the calories. And they're actually perceived healthy and inert. Like earlier, they were just used in the beverages, but now they are all across the food supply. Earlier, like you used to just see that they are in our can of soda, in our Diet Coke, but now they are like all over in our food supply. So then you guys may be thinking, okay, what about stevia or sweetener, or what about monk fruit sweetener? Keep in mind that stevia and monk fruit sweetener are highly processed. They're actually 100 times sweeter than sugar. And what they do is they actually activate the sweet taste receptors, which is not only present in our mouth, but they are also present all throughout our body. So what happens when the sweet taste receptors are activated in the absence of calories? It leads to more rapid hunger and appetite dysregulation. So when that happens in the childhood, they're not able to sense their appetite, and the other thing is they will be hungry. So when you are actually going for this sugar-free foods, you're so hungry and you're not able to understand what is happening. And typically, like this artificial sweeteners or the sugar-free foods, they hijack your microbiome. And so then you might be wondering, okay, when it comes to sugar, at the most, what sugar can do, maybe it can increase the weight. And just carrying this extra weight, maybe an inconvenience, or maybe have to wear a dress size up. Like what is the problem, even if I'm carrying that extra weight? Not many people realize this extra weight, especially the fat that is depositing near your viscera, which we call as visceral fat. It produces a lot of inflammatory markers. So this visceral fat is actually acts as hypertrophic. It is hypermetabolic and hyperplastic. So with this, there is deranged metabolic function. You have increased risk of cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, autoimmune disorders, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. So basically, they produce all these different kinds of inflammatory markers. So it's not that you guys don't know the ill effects of sugar, but my question to you guys is, at what time point are you willing to change when it comes to changing your dietary habits? Because sometimes, like, what happens is we are in that comfortable zone. Oh, maybe I don't have the heart disease yet. I don't have the high blood pressure yet. So maybe, oh, this might happen sometime later, sometime in future, or this just happened to my neighbor. It may never happen to me. So, or sometimes like you are in the thing, oh, this is so common. Because as you can see, if 6 out of 10 people have the disease, they feel they are in company. They said, oh, my neighbor has it, my family member has it, my aunt has it. So it's okay for me to have it too. That is the mindset we are in. But again, like my question is, at what time point are you willing to make the dietary change? So I'm just giving you a warning because I'm just going to show an image. I'm not showing this image to scare you, but to show you like what are the things we deal on a daily basis as doctors. And because I know, like, we keep telling people that you need to change your diet, you need to change your lifestyle, but obviously, changing diet and lifestyle is so hard for us, right? And systematically eating wrong foods makes us not only makes us obese, it actually actually not only causes a lot of diseases, and not only it is the leading cause of death and disability, but what you would notice is you have to make so many trips to your doctor's office. If you notice, even though all these conditions are just caused by the same thing that you're eating, but maybe you have to go to your heart doctor to be diagnosed with heart disease. Maybe you need to go to your allergy doctor to be diagnosed with autoimmune disease, or maybe you need to go to your endocrinologist. So you're just running to different specialties and different doctors, where in fact, like all these things are just caused by one thing, what we are putting inside our mouth. And I just want to give you a graphic image warning. So when it comes to diabetes, the thing is, diabetes doesn't have any pain, or even if you're overweight, there is not much pain. So that's why you don't tend to think in terms of, I need to take action immediately. Things that do not cause pain, you just bear them for years and years. So what happens with the diabetic? So this is a patient with a diabetic foot, where you're able to see, like, almost you can put your fist inside. So here, this is the sole of the leg, where due to the gangrene and necrosis of the foot, uh, they had to take out, just to clean the infection, they had to take out part of the thing which was already dead and gangrenous. And actually, this patient literally had to go for amputation because they thought they cannot save the leg. But the beauty of it is when they change their diet. So when you change the diet, it's so that's the power of the diet. Like, instead of just relying on medications, when you change the diet, you could see like how our body is designed to heal. And you can see like how beautifully it has healed. So I just want to share, like, I conduct a lot of programs, like I do 6-week programs, 1-year programs, where actually I teach people how they can change their diet and lifestyle so that they can lead a disease-free life, so that they're not dealing with these conditions, where they can actually get free, where they can actually eradicate instead of just spending their life medicating. So this is what, like, one participant said. I just want to say how happy I am to have joined your course. It was only a course decision forced by my wife that I took the step, not because I wasn't convinced to be healthy, but because I love eating. And I couldn't imagine giving up eating my favorite things. I was very happy to see all the alternatives out there and reverse my diabetes at the same time. Just want to say how grateful I am to have found you. So I just wanted to give you guys some hope that this is possible. And we don't have to give away our favorite foods. So when it comes to, okay, um, you love chocolates, no problem. So the beauty of this is we can plantify our favorites, where it not only increases our chances of success, but also makes our new lifestyle more sustainable. Because what happens, when it comes to food, like what do you guys think? So you're like, okay, I'm going to use my willpower. I'm not going to eat sugar anymore. I'm not going to buy sugar anymore. I'm just going to change and give away everything. And then all of a sudden, you're like, you think, okay, I am giving into my cravings. Then when you give into your cravings, then you have a sort of guilt, shame, and it actually adds more stress, and you feel a sense of loss of control over yourself and over your life. But today I'm just going to show you like how you can actually overcome your cravings, not by using your willpower, but using your skill power, like how you can satisfy your cravings. So I'm going to talk about, because since we are into our sweetness, so like how we can plantify our sweetness. So before I go into that, any questions so far?
We've got two questions. Susan says that she grows her own stevia plants for the leaves, so she doesn't use the refined stevia products. That was a comment she made. And Joanne says, when kids
Okay,
are...
let me answer that. So
Yeah, go ahead.
when it comes to stevia, yes, if you're just using the stevia leaves, you're just putting the stevia leaves in the water or for your tea, then that's good. As long as it's not processed, if you're just using the whole stevia, it's good. Yeah. And
Excellent.
uh-huh.
Joanne says, when kids under 5 are given sweets, is this the reason these kids now have attention deficit?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question, Joanne. Yes, and that is something we are not able to see, or we are not able to connect the dots. And yes, that's like one of the reasons, like their brains are not developed, and that is the time when their brains are developing, the networks are being put, and when we don't allow that growth to happen naturally, and based on the foods that we are providing them, if it is hijacking them, you can imagine. So it has different manifestations, because people think, okay, I'm still eating sugar, but this did not happen to me. Even though that manifestation may not happen to you, some other thing. Because in some people, that excess sugar can manifest in the form of diabetes. In some people, that excess sugar can manifest in terms of heart disease. In some people, that excess sugar can manifest in terms of gum diseases. In some people, that excess sugar can manifest as attention deficit or ADHD disorder. So you guys see the point, right? So it's not necessary that people experience all this, but based on the system that the sugar has affected, those are the symptoms you're experiencing. Okay, yeah. So do we have any other questions?
None so far.
Okay, so Angie is asking, what about natural sweeteners like maple syrup or dates? So I'm glad, Angie, you asked that question. So when it comes to natural sweeteners, again, so as long as you're not going gung-ho on those natural sweeteners, whether it is maple syrup, whether it is agave syrup, it is still a sweetener, because your body cannot differentiate whether that sweetener came from something else, because ultimately it is processed as sugar. So as long as you're limiting to less than 3 to 4 teaspoons per day, that's fine. But if you're going over that, that's when you have to pay attention. So that's the thing with people think, oh, I'm using natural sweeteners. But when it comes to dates, okay, it is different when it comes to whole foods. Okay, so when it comes to fruits, fruits have sugars naturally, and you don't have to avoid fruits thinking that they have sugar. That is the nature's candy, and that is what you can have. And that's the beauty of it. So it's not that we have to give up our sweet tooth or sweetness cravings. What we can do is we can actually use the whole food. We can use the fruits, we can use the dried fruits, we are either dates or raisins. These are the things we can actually use to sweeten our food and make desserts. So, okay, let me ask you, what are some of your favorite things? So when it comes to so feel free to type in or unmute and say, like, what do you think are some of your favorite foods?
Dr. Shobha, did you say what are some of your favorite foods?
Yeah, so I'm asking what are some of your favorite foods?
Okay. Well, I love pasta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I love bread, but
Mm-hmm.
I've switched to Ezekiel bread. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. So I know that's another topic of discussion. So when it comes to bread, again, like what we are looking for, bread doesn't grow on trees. So it's a processed food. So when we are making bread out of whole grains, or when we are making bread out of lentils, there are wonderful recipes where you can make bread without using flour, without using processed food. You could just take the lentils, grind them, add some nuts and seeds. Even if you want, sometimes I also add greens in that. So wherever I find the opportunity, I just try to add greens. You can blend that and make them into breads. So that's the beauty of it. So here, what we are talking about is plantifying our favorites. If we love breads, that's good. That's not the end of the world. But what we are doing, instead of making the bread with processed flour, what we are doing, we are taking a whole food and making the bread out of it. So thanks for sharing those examples, Sharon. Yes. And yes, I see some people saying blueberries, yellow apples, bananas. Yes, those, as I said, fruits are our nature's candy. But is there anybody here who loves chips? Like I love chips. I'm a deep sucker for fried foods, deep fried foods. Like when I was transitioning to plant-based eating, so giving up deep fried foods was very difficult for me. So, coming from India, like I used to love that deep fried potato patties, which we call samosas. They're still my favorite. So, and French fries, anything deep fried. Like we even deep fry our bread. You guys at least bake your bread, but what we do is we deep fry our bread. So I used to love them. And so Donald says salt and vinegar chips. Yep. So whether it is chips, whether it is cookies, whether it is candies, whether it is deep fried foods, know that all of these things can be plantified because that's a very big liberation. Sometimes we think, okay, maybe I have to give up my favorites. No, so the first step is to identify what are your favorites, because sometimes we think, oh, I'm not going to tell this because I don't know if people will judge me if I say this is my favorite food. So as I said, it doesn't matter whether you love your ice cream. So I mean, whole day, I can live on ice creams. But now what I do, it's not that I gave up eating ice creams, but what I do is I take the buttercup squash, add a little bit of soy milk, banana, blend it, freeze it, and in my Ninja Creamy, I turn it into ice cream. And sometimes that's what I'm having for my breakfast. So as I said, that's the beauty of it. Here, instead of using our willpower, what we are going to use is the skill power, where we are going to use our vegetables, our fruits, whole grains, beans, lentils, to make the desserts or to make the foods that we love. It doesn't matter whether you love your chips, burgers, pizza. So that, Joanne says avocados with black salt. Yep, yeah. So when it comes to having certain foods, it's also very important to know the calorie density of the food, because there are certain foods that are high in calories, and we want to limit their consumption. You want to eat the foods that are in the bottom of the pyramid. So, for example, as long as you're eating whole grains, fruits, vegetables, you don't have to count the calories. You would also notice as soon as you eat them, your tummy is full. But when it comes to foods that have high calories, especially avocados, you would notice that you cannot put a stop to it. So it's you might have to limit. Again, isn't dates or date dates too sweet for diabetes? Okay, so when it comes to using the sweetener, it's better to use the dates, and it's not too sweet for diabetics, because when you look at dates, dates are rich in minerals. They have fiber, they have phytochemicals, they have antioxidants. So you're getting a rich blend of nutrients. And when you're using this dates, typically what you're doing, instead of just eating the dates as it is, you're making a paste out of those dates and adding to things. So let's say you are combining this date paste with black beans to make black bean brownies. So that is healthy, because what you're adding the dates to, you're adding the dates to the beans or to any of your whole grains. So that is what you're doing. Okay. And any other questions?
I just wanted to ask you. I just wanted to ask you about the dates. Are there any particular type of dates that at Costco I've seen two types of dates. One was merjule or something like that.
Merjule. Yep.
Yeah. So is there any particular type of date?
So merjule dates are wonderful. They're soft and like you can easily soak them, and they make a good source of date paste because they're so sweet and nice. But when it comes to making certain desserts, so let's say like if you're trying to make any cookies or so you want the dough to be a little bit dry, right? In that case, it's better to use the other type of dates. You also find like nude dates or the degled dates. So when you're using them, so if you're making any oatmeal cookies or anything, so it's better to use the nude dates rather than the merjule dates. Okay.
Okay.
The only other comment we had was Lay's chips and salt and vinegar chips were cravings.
Yeah.
My craving is French fries.
Yeah. So the thing is, yes, Lay's chip. Did you know like you can make wonderful chips? So okay, so here's the deal. I know like I can be telling you about all these different things that you can do, but unless you get a taste of it, it's no fun, right? Because I can go on describing, but unless you know like how this tastes and how this happened, you you cannot know. So here's the thing which I'm really excited about. What we are going to do is, because I really want to help you guys to develop the skills, like how you can actually get off of this sugar like literally we can call this as sugar detox. And instead of that, substitute with foods that we can plantify, which are good for our health, which are good for our kids, which are good for our grandkids, and obviously which are good for the whole planet. So here, what we'll do is we are going to do 5-day challenge. Okay. In this 5-day challenge, what I'm going to do every day, and it only requires 15 to 20 minutes of your time per day. That's it. It's not that you have to, excuse me. It's not that you have to spend hours and hours doing this challenge. And this challenge is so simple because every day for the next 5 days, you will be getting a video of what activity that you need to do for that day. So you just need to watch that video. And it usually takes 5 minutes or less of your time to make that. Okay. So your challenge would be watching that video and making that. So I'll be showing you how to make the chips because since those are one of your favorites. And let me know if there are any other favorites, then I can include, I can actually show you how to make. So that's why I was asking you, what are your favorite foods? So if you can let me know, and those are the videos you will get to see and make them. So coming on to this challenge, and I call this challenge as a healthy junk food challenge. Do we need a shopping list in advance of the challenge? So once you guys sign up for the challenge, we will be sending you an email with the list of all the things. So I'm starting this challenge this coming Sunday. So today is Tuesday. So let's say if you guys sign up today, you will have enough time where you're getting because as soon as you sign up in your emails, you will get the list of things that you buy. And here you don't have to have a big list. So don't be afraid. Like all you need is just few things. Okay. And even in terms of gadgets, as long as you have your knife, that's enough. So we will be giving you a list of gadgets that you need, list of ingredients that you need to buy so that you're all set and prepared for Sunday. Okay. So this is a 5-day challenge. So it starts on Sunday and it ends on Thursday. Thursday being the 5th day, and coincidentally, that day is also Halloween. And the last day challenge would be to create the Halloween treats. And those are the treats that you are actually giving to your trick-or-treaters. And trust me, by the end of 5th day, you will be so skillful in making those treats. As I said, it only needs 15 at the max 30 minutes of your time per day. That's what you need to spend for each 5 days. And you will get to know what to do. And all of you, I'll be running this challenge in the Facebook group so that people can see it. And the good news is we also have daily prizes for this. So the prizes for this challenge, so if you are watching the video and making that and posting that on the Facebook, you win a recipe book. So for the 5 days, every day we will be announcing the prizes for people who take action, because I love to reward people like who take the right action. So in that way, it's not only you're getting the health rewards, but you're also getting cookbooks, right? So how cool is that? And for people who are participating in this challenge, we have a grand prize draw. So at the end of the 5 days, so we will be doing a grand prize draw for all the people who have done the creations for all those 5 days. They will be entered into a draw, and that draw would be a free admission to my food as medicine course, which is the Gift of Health signature program. It actually costs $997, and you get that for free. So when you win this grand prize in the challenge. Okay, and yes, I say signing up, yes. So are you guys excited for this challenge? Yeah, as I said, like this challenge is really a fun challenge, which is not only showing you like how you can get off of the sugars and how you can detox from sugar and how you can actually use natural sweetness from the fruits, from the whole foods, and that is what you can feed yourself and feed your children and grandchildren. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we will be putting the link to sign up. So here in the chat, we'll just put the link. And also Vanessa, like if you can put the link in the YouTube channel as well, so that people can grab it from there as well. And people who are here in the Zoom can just grab it from the chat. Okay, so we will be posting the link shortly. And the fun thing about this challenge is you actually gain points for every action that you're taking. You gain points. So any questions? So we have posted the link here in the chat. So feel free to grab the link. And the other thing is we will be also sending the link in the email. Okay. Okay, so I see. Yeah. So any questions regarding this challenge? So you guys are all set? Okay, great. And I run this challenge only once a year. So if you want to participate in this challenge, you have to wait for the next year. If you're not participating now, again, you have to wait. So how long are the videos? Excellent questions. They are 15 minutes or less. Some videos are just 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, so as I said, the time commitment required for each day is 15 minutes, at the most 30 minutes, including the time that you need after watching the video where you're making that dish, right? Okay. So any other questions?
Dr. Shobha, well, if you're older, like me, and you hadn't been eating that way all of your life, I guess what I'm trying to say, am I already damaged?
That is an excellent question, because a lot of people actually have this question. Is it too late for me to change the habits?
Yeah.
Even what research has shown, like even people who change after 75 years, even during that time when they make a change, it is very impactful. As I said, our body is designed to heal, because your body is always in the process of healing. The other thing is your body produces cells every 2 years. So the cells come out of what you're feeding yourself. So when you're feeding healthy stuff, healthy cells are being produced. So it is never too late to change. It doesn't matter whether you're 50, whether you're 60, whether you're 70, whether you're 40, whether you're 30. But the good news is to know is to change whenever you're aware of this. I know, like, I wasn't aware of this. So I know, like, today, I spend a lot of time in spreading this awareness, but it's not that I didn't know that diet affects our health. Yes, I mean, I definitely knew, but until I got into this, I couldn't imagine how much of an effect the diet has on our health. So that was quite shocking to me. It was quite shocking. Why was I not taught about this? Why was I not taught about this in my medical school? Why people don't talk about this? Right? So, and and that's the reason, like, I was like, if I'm considering myself this educated, I have gone through my medical school, I have gone through my further training, but if still I don't know, I cannot imagine the fate of regular people who don't have this much education as I have. So that was quite a surprising fact for me. Okay, so I see that yeah. Any ideas for helping to reverse damage that you might already have? That's the beauty of it. When you change your diet, so let's say even you have the disease, you can either halt the progression of the disease or you can reverse the disease. So good news is whether when it comes to heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, arthritis, gut diseases, all these diseases are preventable. And let's say even if you have it, they are reversible. Okay? Okay. So hopefully, let me know like if you guys are able to access the link. And as I said, so go ahead and feel free to sign up. If you're facing any issues, you can let me know. So any other questions before I wrap up?
Can everybody let me know if the link is working? Because Eva had an issue, but I just tested the link. It's working fine. Can you just try it again, Eva?
Yeah, now it works. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Excellent. Excellent. Dr. Greger became physician because certain foods are proved to prevent and reverse disease.
Vanessa, when you get the link, what do I do with it? You know, like the one in the chat. What do I do with it?
You just click it.
Click it. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you send it again, Vanessa? I'm very sorry.
Yeah. And this challenge, this challenge is free. So it's free for everybody. You can also invite your friends.
That's what I was going. Oh my! Wait.
You can also invite your friends and family members for this challenge. As I said, the more, the merrier. And when you're doing with your friends and family members,
That's what I was going to ask. Is it free?
Yes, it is free. Okay. Yes. So any other questions before I wrap up?
I just wanted to ask you a question about my cereal covers.
About your,
you know what? My cereal covers. Can you hear?
I can hear, but I didn't get you. I'm sorry. So are you saying cereal what?
I just, before you go, like my cereal cupboard, all the cereal in my cupboard. Well, that's in boxes. They're no good, right?
Okay. Okay, good question. So what I do about the cereal boxes, right? Oh my God. Like I remember our son, like he loves those cereal, especially those Crave. So they are chocolate filled and oh my God. And if you look at it, the first ingredient you see is sugar. So, okay, now you're wondering, what do I do with all the cereal boxes? So, as I said, you can also buy cereals, make your own cereals. Okay, so you don't have to buy packaged or processed food, but once you make your own cereal and having them, that's the best way to have it. But to answer your question, what do I do with the boxes? Yes, you know the answer.
Dr. Shobha, everything you say, I love it. And I love all the information. I absolutely do. But I'm so overwhelmed. It's a lot to take in. And at my age, it's just that I feel like I didn't know all of these things when I was younger. I always thought I was eating well, but when I learned all of these new things, you just realized how unwell you're eating.
Yes. And you're right, Sharon, making a lifestyle change is so overwhelming. And when you don't know, and when you are thinking, so that is the reason I actually developed the 6-week course. Initially, I used to do this in 3 days. And I used to show people and tell what they need to eat, what they need to avoid, just in 3 days. And it was fantastic. So people did get results. People were able to do it, but still it was overwhelming. So that's why what I did is then I developed the 6-week course so that it gives you time. And in this, the beauty of the 6-week course, what is happening is there is no overwhelm, because here you're not rushing, you're just taking one thing at a time. The reason I'm also conducting this challenge is because you're doing one thing at a time. If I say to you, oh, clear your cupboards, give away your cereals, give away your chocolate, give away your sugar, it is so overwhelming. And that is not the way to make the change. The reason I'm conducting this challenge is to show you how you could just do a tiny change, which can have a big impact. Okay? That's the reason I'm holding this challenge. The other thing is what I do in the 6-week courses. Again, I just help people to make that tiny changes so that they're not overwhelmed. And they find success, and they're surprised. In 6 weeks, they are able to see the changes, that their blood sugar numbers are coming down, their cholesterol numbers are coming down. So it is really amazing, and they see that even their blood pressure is coming to normal, even though they have been taking medications for 25 years. So that's the beauty of it. Okay, so instead of struggling yourself, what I would recommend is joining this immersion programs where you have the support, where you're not only getting the knowledge, you're also getting an environment where you can make these changes, and where you're getting the support. And all these 3 things are necessary to make a change. Because even if one of this thing is absent, you will feel very overwhelming and you cannot sustain it for a long time. Yeah, like people love our 6-week course, and they're amazed, how far they have come and the amount of changes that they have made. Because like my job, this is something I love to do, and maybe I would say this is something I can even do in my sleep. I love to help people change their diet and lifestyle. And anytime, I think I can do this anytime, and I'll be happy to do this anytime. So that is the reason I developed the 6-week course. And for people who struggle a lot, I also developed 1-year course, so that they have this 1 year worth of time to make the changes and get the results. Okay. Okay.
You're such a beautiful doctor, you know that. You're such a beautiful doctor. You really are.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, Angie says baby steps and you're not alone. Yes. Thanks, Angie. And okay. So
there is a couple of questions, Dr. Shobha.
Okay.
Joanne's asking about mineral loss of bones. What's the best prevention, the best reversal actions / foods?
Excellent. So when it comes to your bones, foods definitely affect your bones, especially when you're eating foods that are acidic to your body, because your body always tries to maintain a neutral pH. And when you're eating foods coming from mostly animal-based, so whether it is dairy, whether it is meats, whether it is processed meat, chicken, fish, meat, like all these things are actually acidic to your body. So when it is acidic, it actually takes the calcium from your bones. But when you're eating foods that are alkaline in nature, most of the plant-based foods are alkaline in nature. So one is, what are the steps you need to take to prevent or to protect your bone or to improve your bone health? So one is limiting or reducing the consumption of meat, chicken, fish, dairy. The other thing is increasing your consumption of plant-based foods. So whether in the form of greens or grains or beans, so those are good means of calcium. So people think, oh, maybe I need to drink dairy milk for calcium. But guess what? When you take calcium from the plant-based food, it's more bioavailable. Bioavailable is your body is able to absorb more when you're getting that from the plant sources versus when you're getting from the animal sources. And when it comes to bones, the more stress you put on the bones, they're just like your muscles. The more stress you put on them, the bigger they grow, the stronger they grow. So even when it comes to bones, exercise. And here I'm not talking about rigorous exercise, but just like walking, like moderate exercise, at least having like 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week is going to keep your bones strong and healthy. The other thing is smoking also is detrimental to your bone health. And excess salt consumption is detrimental to your bone health because when the salt increases, the calcium has to come out of the bones. So those are a few things to keep in mind. So increase your greens, increase your beans to protect your bone. Movement, so at least 150 minutes of physical activity per week is going to help you with your bone health. Yeah. Any other question?
Donna is asking you about stevia again. She says that she's been using the pure stevia with no other ingredients. Can you clarify again if that's okay?
So is that stevia in the form of powder? Is that stevia in the form of liquid? Or is that stevia in the form of leaves? To avoid the confusion, so stevia, if you have seen how original stevia looks like, those are nothing but stevia leaves. As long as if they're just stevia leaves, yes, they are original, they're not processed. But if it is, if it is in the form of powder, then it is processed, Donna. You want to avoid that. Okay, so I don't know where the time went, but it is time to wrap up. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the challenge. And good luck with everything. And as I said, this challenge is starting on Sunday. And let's get healthy together. Let's have fun. And yes, becoming healthy doesn't have to be boring. And we can have fun while getting healthy. Okay. So by the way, next week, next Tuesday, we won't be having our regular Gift of Health, the Total Wellness, because we are doing our challenge. Okay. So I will see you the week after. Okay. And enjoy your Halloween and have a good night. Okay. See you.